What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Vampy Book Club. It's another Sunday. It's another Vampy Book Club. You know I can't do another Vampy Book Club without my main man, Delman. So here's Delman. Do you know what issue we're doing? I forgot. I'm just kidding. I didn't forget. We're doing issue 10, but I know it's episode 11. But since we did the movie, so everything gets a little moved around. But we're doing issue 10. Covers by Bill Hughes. Stories are there are a bunch of famous writers. Len Weens. I think this is one of Len's first like written things that he's done. I believe it's Len Weens, Neil Adams, Billy Graham again, Tom Sutton. Dude, just a big book in general for if you're fans of these people, of artists or writers or whatever. But it's interesting, man. And then come to find out, Dell read it. Dell read some of the stories, and then he mentioned why is the first story that we read doesn't have Vampy on it? It has Uncle Creepy on it. So come to find out, this was supposed to be in Creepy, but since the Vampy story didn't get pulled, or the Vampy story didn't get completed in time, deadline wise, so they had to pull something. They had to give the publisher something. So they pulled a Uncle Creepy. They pulled a creepy story out of it. So that's why you can say this book is a misprint, if you want, if you think about it. Well, not really a misprint, but or what would you call it? Really?
Well, yeah, well, I don't want to say a misprint, but I don't know. So it's I guess it's unique because it has Uncle Creepy in a Vampirella book. So
yeah. So it's kind of funny.
Yeah, it's just kind of fun. But yeah, again, how many times has Vampirella showed up on covers of other books too? So
right, yeah. Like the most recent one, the Monsters.
Monsters. All right, but since we're talking about Warren Publishing, it's been a few of them that she I think it was on what's it, the 50th issue of I think of Creepy or Eerie, where it's like all the different characters.
Yeah,
she was on the cover too
at the dinner time, and then and then she even appears in Eerie with the Rook.
Yeah, with the Rook. Right.
Yeah, and then dude, Flash Gordon appears towards the end of the series with her towards the end of the run. So it's kind of funny. But reading, I mean, what did you think of reading this was the Sutton one, right? The Sutton story?
Yeah. So Sutton doing the artwork on that one.
Yeah.
It was kind of interesting story where a guy going after all he has he has a weird obsession over a book that this guy had that had like a book of spells and curses, and the guy he steals it from cursed him, and he was being chased by like zombies and a vampire, only to lose the book. And then he finds a book, but he couldn't open it in time because it got frozen together due to the moisture and the snow.
Right.
And the zombies killed him. So it was like, so it was just it was still kind of a cool story, but it was still, only to, so kind of
but how weird is it to read it and then at the end not see Vampy at the end and see a creepy face at the end?
Uncle Creepy. So which I thought was kind of funny. It's like, what's that?
I giggled too when I read it. I'm like, why is Uncle Creepy in this on this issue, or on this story? So I looked it up. I read more about it, and what happened was they you know what I mean? It was so there was supposed to be a Vampy story in this one, and it got delayed. So that's why like I guess Sutton just turned something in and then said, hey, here, I'll get it for next issue or whatever, but here's something to fill out the issue, I guess. But if you think about it, this issue is a heavy hitter issue because it has Len Weens, Neil Adams, Wally Wood, dude, a lot of major writers, a lot of major artists on here. You know what I mean? Even Billy Graham again. So it's a lot of big people on this issue in general.
Is it just like the first Neil Adams?
No. First Neil Adams was in Vampy 1. This is either his second or third, something like that. I think it's his second or third attempt at the vampy stuff. I think, or the horror stuff in general.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what I just remember it was like early Neil Adams stuff.
Yeah. I even I skimmed this story, talking about a guy being married, and a lot, all the stuff that goes with being married and stuff, and some weird stuff starts happening towards the end of the book, toward the end of the story. You know what I mean? And then
I skipped to this one. I was just looking at the artwork on this
yeah,
one.
but this artwork is really good. Yeah, and then this is the Frank Bruner one,
Yeah,
the Frank Bruner story. I skip like you did. I skimmed this one too because of the art. Really, what caught my attention was the art. Like I said, the book, the book in general, the art catches your attention more than anything before the story does. And then pretty much, a witch, pretty much, or a girl, hoping for some type of demon or whatever it is. She pretty much gets her wish. A cult ends up, sacrificing her or something like that, and she gets pretty much her wish. And some stuff happens. And this is the Neil Adams one.
Yeah, so I looked it up just now. It looks like it was for this one. It was like Neil Adams and Steve Englehart.
Yeah. So, but this story I think was pretty neat. Did you skim it or did you read it?
I just skimmed through it just to look at the artwork because it's early Neil Adams stuff and
yeah. But I actually read it. Story was good, but Neil's art really helped the story. Well, not just helped it, but it really got your attention more. It really caught your attention a little more.
Right.
You know what I mean? It really caught your ideal of it and your attention of it. But she's pretty much what do you call but what did you call mermaids beforehand? Like before they were called mermaids, sirens.
Sirens, yeah.
Yeah, so she's pretty much like some type of siren. The older lady here, it's pretty much like a siren. And then the way she stays young is to absorb, men's, vitality or whatever, whatever you want to say. But just by Neil's work at it, man, like it was amazing seeing her being the old lady, and then how Neil turned her into the young, turned the guy into the older guy, and then the young, younger one. But the cab driver was supposed to be Neil, I believe. He modeled the cab driver after himself, I think. Looks a little like him.
Yeah, it does. It looks like a little bit like a younger.
Yeah. Yeah. So the cab driver goes, hey, lady, I used to live in this neighborhood or whatever. It's not a good neighborhood to be just strolling in or whatever. But the little text here tells you who she is and what she is. So she's a siren, blah, 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 blah. But she was filled. So she got filled with that other guy. So she's pretty much good for right now. But she fell for the taxi driver. She's falling for the taxi driver. So the taxi driver has two tickets, like this panel here. He has 2 tickets to a boxing match. What happens in the early 60s and the early 70s during boxing matches when with mobsters and stuff? What do you think happens?
Oh, he fixed fights.
Aha! You're right. You're correct. Come to find out, the character that looks like Neil Adams is actually a boxer. So he's a taxi driver, I guess, for on the side, and then like how you wanted to be a wrestler and whatever, you know what I mean, or a referee or whatever. So his side job was being a taxi driver, and then you meet these mobsters. These mobsters want him to throw a fight, but just by looking at Neil's artwork, man, it's amazing. But it gave the story a really good, energy about it. You know what I mean? And then the fighter, the taxi driver again. Then come to find out, she loves the taxi driver so much, she helps the taxi driver out a little bit. She entices the mobster. So this is the mobster here, and then boxing guy sees the walk in with her and whatever. So some stuff happens. You know what I mean? Some hanky panky, if you want to say.
Some shenanigans.
Some shenanigans. Some shenanigan happens, and then during this is during the fight. He wins the fight, but you know what did the mobster say? He had to throw the fight.
Yeah.
In one of the rounds. So he didn't throw it. So guess what happens? She helps out. So the fighter wants to, look what happens here. They go backstage, meet him back. She meets him backstage. The mobster threatening him with guns. He's gonna shoot him and whatever. Just by Neil's artwork and his attention to detail made this story really interesting to me. I think. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like him just you know what I mean, just the monsters talking, what they got to do now, but he doesn't know that she's a harpy or whatever, or a siren or whatever. So he doesn't know, the boxer doesn't know that. So the boxer's fighting back, so protecting her, thinking she needs the protection or whatever.
Yeah.
But come to find out later, yeah. So this happened. Like they hold her up, thinking, oh, threaten her this time. Guess what happens? Like I told you, the boxing guy doesn't know. You know what I mean? Nobody knows that she's a freaking siren. So these guys. So, like you said, some shenanigans again happens. So hanky panky you see the hand, and you see this happen, but the mobsters end up killing her love. So pretty much murdering the boxer. Still, but she gives up her siren ability. She gives up that to revive him. So he's back from the dead, pretty much, and she disintegrates. She's gone. So she pretty much she's a part of him now. Pretty much.
Yeah.
That's how much that's how much the siren loved him, where she didn't want to use her ability on him, like didn't want to suck the energy out of him. You know what I mean? Right. So it was a pretty good story, man. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed this one. But Neil's artwork really gave it another, a 1-2 punch. If it wasn't for Neil's artwork, it wouldn't. I don't think it would have done. It wouldn't have been as enticing. I don't think.
Yeah, it was cool to see his artwork, and he was collaborating with another artist.
It was. It wouldn't have been as enticing. And then we get like a bunch of other stuff, and then the Wally Wood one, another one, dude. This. I can't believe he did. He did everything. He wrote the story. He drew it. Because there's no other, art in story by.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, because I just went to the artwork on this one, and it was cool artwork on it, and so it seems like he likes to draw this. He likes to do stories like
wizards and
Yeah.
wars and stuff. Yeah, yeah. But just by looking at it, man, just him having the idea to write the story and to draw it at the end. Dude, there's not as many of these guys out there as much now. You know what I mean? There's a writer and there's a artist. I mean, there are some, but there is not as, you know what I mean? It takes long. It takes a lot longer now. You know what I mean? Or a lot less time now because with the computer, with the help, with computer help. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This was by hand. This was by hand. You know what I mean? You know how much time that took by hand and him writing the story at the same time. All this was by hand. No computers. You know what I mean? It's on probably on Bristol board.
Yeah, it's probably a card like Bristol cardstock.
Yeah. Just imagine him drawing this and writing the story. Dude, I would be balling this shit up and throwing it out because I would be like, shit, it's too much. But dude, how many freaking panels, man? Like one, this is a major panel in general, you know what I mean? And then the lettering. But
Well, I would imagine since he was both writing and doing the artwork, it was probably it may have been a little bit faster because he
right,
didn't have to
right,
work with somebody.
right.
You know, it's like what they had to work with the writers. Like, oh, I want this, I want that. It's like, no, he had the story envisioned in his head.
Right.
He probably just drew the pictures in the bubbles,
Yeah.
and then started writing after that. You know, there's different ways of doing it. So, but I'm sure it was a little bit easier in
Right.
It's still challenging, but because he has to meet a deadline.
Right.
But in comparison to having to collaborate with the writer, and it's like, all right, well, you know, it's like, tell me what the story's about. And
But when I saw this panel though, I wanted it on a t-shirt.
that's a good one. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
definitely
yeah. I saw this panel here. I'm like, dude, I wouldn't mind to see this on a damn t-shirt because
good.
this would be a cool one on a t-shirt in general.
Yeah. A t-shirt or like a poster print or something like that.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind seeing some Wally Wood stuff on because some of his artwork, man, is like it could be like like poster art almost type stuff.
Yeah.
Like just just by looking at him doing body, dude, how much time did he have? That's what I want to know. How much time did he have? Like a week, a month? You know what I mean? How much time did he have to actually to work this thing out and actually throw it out there? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just imagine how much time he had, and then how and seeing him do this. But that's it, Or if he already had the story, like you said, already had the story written out. It's just nobody wanted, nobody's bought the story yet. Maybe, you know what I mean? Something like that. So just by looking at the artwork and just this issue itself is a big issue, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a big issue because it was like the story that Neil Adams was doing what did the artwork for. That was the first one for his co-artist of that story.
Right.
Steve Englehart.
Yeah, Englehart's another big name too, man. Englehart himself is a big name.
And that was the first published artwork.
Right. Englehart's a big name. Wally Wood's a bit, you know what I mean? This issue 10 has a lot of big names on it. Englewood, freaking Wally Wood, freaking Neil Adams, and the one you mentioned, his first work. So if you're a fan of that guy, you know what I mean? It's his first work.
It's his first artwork in comic books.
Yeah. So, and then this story here, our favorite person, Billy Graham.
Yeah, Billy Graham.
And then the big writer on here was Len Weins. Pretty much the big artist and the big name on this book was two artists, one artist, Neil Adams, and then the other guy's first work, but he wasn't big at the time. But Neil Adams, and then the up and coming writer Len Weins is the other one, is the other big name on this one. I mean, there's a lot more big names on here, but I'm saying, but people, the well-known ones, the like people really know, is Wally Wood, him, and Weins for writing, But this one This story was another good one.
Yeah,
I like.
I was just looking at the artwork at it. You know, I just got
Yeah. That I had a feeling. No, I mean, I skimmed it. I skimmed it. I didn't like read it. But this is the one that was the cover story. Was the cover pretty much talking about the cover and about painting about him painting painting a lady
yeah.
pretty much. But dude, I forgot how good Graham's artwork in general is. Besides his superhero stuff, just his this is his horror stuff pretty much. If you think about it, and it's actually really good. Graham's another one that gets he doesn't really get overlooked, but he's more known for being a first African American Marvel artist or whatever it is. That's cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I like how he does the shading and stuff like that too.
Yeah. Just by looking at all these stories, man, it was interesting. Like all the artwork in it. Because what really catches your attention first before you even read the stories is the art. And that's one good thing about Warren was that he knew how to catch people's attention first. Was hey, let me get a big cover, let me get some good covers and catch people's attention on the newsstand. Let me get a Frazetta, or like uh because the Bill Hughes is a cartoonist, a big cartoonist at that time. So let me get this guy. Let me get and then we find out later down the line he gets a lot of a lot of Spaniard artists, a lot of Spaniard, cover artists too. But we don't find out until later. Well, those are a little bit down the line. But this is all this stuff was great, man. Like honestly, all this was great. Yeah. Like Bill, yeah, Graham's stuff wasn't, you know what I mean? Slipped my mind. But yeah, but the cover's amazing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the cover is great. Who did the cover again? Who was the artist?
Bill Hughes.
Bill Hughes. Bill Hughes is this is a cool artwork one thing so far that I'm liking that for the most part that from what I remember here is like with the Vampirella's magazines that the artwork tends to always tie in with the story.
Yeah, at least with one of the stories in there. It's always at least the third, the fourth story in the middle of the book, at least that what I can remember. Or if it's not the second story, it's either the fourth story. But there, it's gonna be at least one story with whatever the cover is.
Right. So that's what I like about it. So.
But when did Star Wars come out?
The first one, I think,
yeah, the first one, because
I want to say 1977 or 1978.
Well, if you're saying that, I'm wondering if the slave Leia, So I'm wondering if slave Leia was a little inspired by the Bill Hughes thing.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now.
So. Yeah, look it up right now, so we don't get the freaking facts all fucked up, all screwy, and then me saying it, and I'm like, wait, hold on, maybe Bill Hughes took the idea.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now. So, yeah, it was the first. It was 1977.
70. Okay. Yeah, so this is it says March of 71. And then when did the Slave Leia and Slave Leia come out? Slave Leia was like episode 2, right? When the Slave Leia thing, it wasn't in. I know it wasn't in the first one.
Was that in Empire Strikes Back?
I think so. I think that scene was in Empire. I think it was in Empire, but I'm just saying. So maybe he had some inspiration with Vampirella's cover on this one.
If it was an Empire Strikes Back, it's been a while since I've seen any of the Star Wars movie.
Right.
Empire Strikes Back, then it was 1980.
But I'm just saying, I mean, if you look at it, it looks kind of like Leia's outfit almost. On you know what I mean? I mean, I know it was based off of Frank's Egyptian queen or whatever, Egyptian goddess or whatever it was. I forget, but I'm saying he could have took some inspiration from the magazines in general, because I remember either Spielberg and
Oh, sorry, it was. I'm gonna look up. It was Return of the Jedi, which it was like the slave Leia, which that came out in 1983.
yeah, but still, this was 71.
Yeah.
So the idea could have came from here. You know what I mean? He could have
Yeah.
read the magazines. He could have looked at the magazines and got the
Definitely.
idea. Yeah. I mean, if you look at it, the outfit looks a little like it.
Yeah, it's like the bottom part,
Yeah.
So,
And then the chain. I mean, he could have took some inspiration from belly dancers, and then and from Frazetta, and probably a little bit from this, because he probably read it. He probably read it himself. What's going on, Simply?
Well, I got
and my buddy Unruly, who gave me artwork back here. Give me some artwork back here.
Oh, cool.
From from Revenge, from Vengeance of Vampirella, the newer ones. Yeah, but I mean, honestly, this one surprised me. Issue 10 surprised me with all the good stories and stuff in it.
So it was cool because I definitely think that the artwork on it. At least the one story that I did read, it was it was cool.
I mean, it's Sutton. You know what I mean? It's Sutton. It's Sutton. You can you just by looking at it. I mean, you can tell it's Sutton stuff pretty much. He likes snowy backgrounds. I noticed.
Yeah. So it always seems like it's always in the winter time where it's snowing, and play in an area that's snowing, and it's like always.
Yeah, because if you look at it, look the last issue he did a snowy background with Vampy on it. So it's like, so I'm like one. Well, because we'll have more Sutton stories again. Well, the next issue, I thought the next issue was going to be, we start meeting the Spaniard artist, but we don't meet him until issue 12 and then 13. So so I was wrong. So it's going to be another Sutton Vampirella next week. But so far, I mean, this was a fun story. The first story you read was a fun one. What did you think?
Oh, it was fun. It's like I like because at least it was developing a little bit, because I like it. I like it when it's more than just more than like 2 or 3 pages.
Right.
At least it builds a story a little bit, so it gives a little bit more depth. So those are the ones I like the most. And with this book, it was very much like that, where all the stories here are like more than just like 2 or 3 pages. They're like 5, 6, 7 pages each. So it gives a little bit more. To me, it gives a little bit more. So so seeing that the guys, being chased by zombies because he was cursed by
zombies and werewolves.
Werewolves, vampire, and all that, and he's trying to get away. And
I'm surprised they didn't create a zombie werewolf at the end, like a werewolf man at the end. Yeah, I'm surprised Sutton didn't try to draw like a werewolf, but I mean, towards the end.
So, but that's no, it's at least it's not like the early Vampirella stuff where it's just like
super corny.
It simply says Zomwolf.
Zomwolf. I'm surprised. Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't draw a Zomwolf, and then come to find out, like I said, it was a delay on Vampy story, so they had to pull something. So they pulled the Uncle Creepy story.
Yeah.
So that was kind of funny, because you're reading it. If you didn't notice him in the beginning, you noticed him at the end, though, because you're like, huh? I thought this was a Vampy book.
Yeah, exactly. But that's pretty funny, because I was looking up the value of this book too, like online. It's like it's a fairly valuable book too.
Well, yeah, but think about it. Think how many big names are on this book. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because like even with the value of the book is like a high grade goes for like about 80 $90. A mid grade
Right.
goes for about, you know, 40 $30 $40, and
Yeah,
so it's
but
like,
just by value, not just saying value itself, but just by value in the history of the book. It's a Neil Adams. It's a it's a Len Weins. It's a Wally Wood. It's you know what I mean. It's all these big names on here already.
yeah.
Like if I did you expect to have like all these Neil Adams? Did you expect Neil Adams for any of these vampy stuff? No.
Yeah, no, yeah. It's like I just know Neil Adam. I just know of Neil Adams to be heavily involved in a lot of DC stuff because
Right.
I would,
That's when I first got the hold of these magazines, and that's what I thought of. I'm like, that's all I thought of him was because I knew the cover was for Zeta, but I still remember when I first saw a graded book with his name with the signature on it and graded, and it was it was encased. I'm like, why is Neil's name on Vampy One? Because at the time I didn't know a bunch of the history behind Neil, about the Vampy stories in general. So I just knew, I knew it was a Frank Frazetta cover and all that stuff, but I didn't know I thought it was like Vampy stories interiors. I didn't know they were, these were anthologies
yeah.
when I first learned about her. So I'm like, why is Neil's name on here? And then I did some more digging behind it. I found out, oh, okay, so this is why. So yeah, so this is why his name is on it because he doesn't have a story in it, and whatever. So it's like but you don't expect it to read all these magazines. You know what I mean? You don't expect that. You didn't expect to see a Wally Wood. You didn't expect to.
Yeah, no, it's just power. Yeah, it is an
Yeah.
all-star lineup too. So yeah, with the
Yeah.
artists. Yeah,
Yeah, dude, even the writer, Len Weins, that's Len's probably like Len's first or second thing that he's written in comics, I think, or I can't remember exactly, but yeah. But it's a big deal with some writers too on here, man. So it's like because I've heard of some of the writers on here before, Like I've heard about Len Weins before, but I didn't think, horror anything horror, horror based.
yeah.
But my favorite story on this one was the Neil Adams one. I actually really enjoyed the Neil Adams story. And this one wasn't too bad either. This story here, the marriage or whatever, it wasn't too bad. I liked it, but I didn't like it as much as I liked Neil's.
I think the Neil's was the next one over. I think.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a couple issues.
That one right there.
Yeah. This one right here.
Yeah.
But this I think this one was my favorite because it was it was a love story, a mob story, a boxing thing, and a horror thing all together.
Yeah. Yeah, it's it kind of reminds me of something I would see off of. This is one of my favorite TV shows. When it came out, was Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah. Pretty much it was a Tales from the Crypt, pretty much. But so since I can show the issue in real time since I have it. So this is the issue here, issue 10.
This one too.
Yeah. Oh, look, you're doing the same. We can do a double duel. Well,
I think yours is probably in better shape than mine. Yours
is brighter. Mine,
yeah.
Your orange is lighter. My orange is brighter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's like because mine's inside a box, but I just from the person I bought it from,
Yeah. Ooh. Aha. Oh, there we go. Here we go. Yeah, but that's the that's one of the fun parts of it, man. Like, just you actually getting the collection, and now you learning more about it, get like knowledge is power. Now you
Yeah,
have more knowledge about it. Now you now you don't get under now you don't get undercut.
yeah, exactly, exactly. So when I'm flipping these books, I can sit there saying, "Oh, look,
Yeah,
yeah."
you
So
you got some more power behind it that you know
exactly.
more about it, so people don't take advantage. Oh, he doesn't know what he got. That's
So
what you think.
I was
Yeah,
like,
but
"Oh, I know what
dude,
I got."
I really enjoyed Neil's art in general on this one. Like I I don't think I've seen him draw female in general, and superhero wise. I don't think. Or I mean,
Did,
he's
did he
probably
do,
drawn it.
well, I feel like he had. Oh, well, I figured felt like he did with when he was doing work at DC.
Yeah, yeah.
Did he do like Batgirl or something at one point?
Oh yeah,
I
yeah, 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 yeah.
I know he was doing Batman, but it's like
Yeah, yeah. I think he was, but I'm just saying, I I'd never seen his female artwork in general. It's just I like both stories that he's did was female based because he did another siren one in number 1. You remember? It's pretty much the fisherman that finds a almost mermaid type siren or whatever. So similar,
yeah,
but the story ended differently in first one.
yeah,
So it ended differently, but I really enjoyed the art in this one though, and I really enjoyed the story. That's super rare when I actually enjoyed both.
yeah. But it was yeah, it was cool. It was cool. Looked like a cool story. It was definitely
Right,
like the artwork because
right,
it was good because it was something that was penciled
yeah.
between Neil Adams and
Two people,
yeah,
two
Steve
people,
Englehart. Yes,
dude. You
I,
can't. I can you tell with where where Neil did it and where Englehart did it.
no,
That's the whole point of doing it is where you can't tell where then it's both of them.
yeah,
Because now, forget it. Now you can actually tell when they change artists. You've seen the books before. You're reading halfway through. You're like, what the hell?
yeah,
It's but the the style change is so abrupt too. It's like if you have one style of doing it, and then you have another artist, a cheaper artist, or not saying a cheaper artist, but an artist that's not up to the first artist is par, and you have them draw it, you're gonna notice a difference.
right,
You know, like like sometimes when they do the vampy stuff, the new vampy stuff, it's like, oh, hey, the artist needed to go do something else, but we need so we have this artist. There's two artists on here. I'm like, huh. You can actually tell, like you're right towards the middle of the book. You're like, well, now I know where you changed artists. Like this one,
yeah, yeah,
you can't like this one you can't really tell where it's flipping back and forth. But not only that, but it's black and white, so
yeah.
it's a little harder to tell.
Yeah, well, you can still tell it, but it's just like it's just like with this, like you were kind of go back to what you're saying that you can't really tell how it transitioned from one artist to the next.
But
Just like
actually,
more
there is
modern.
one page there's one page that you could probably tell. Like this page was probably done by Neil
Mm,
because since I'm just saying since the cabbie looks like Neil a little, I you would think, this would be the page that he probably did was like these the pages were wouldn't what the character up close of the characters.
yeah, like I said, kind of go back to what you're saying. It's like definitely more on modern day books. It's you could tell when they switch the artists.
Yeah, and
It's
it's
so
really but I don't know if it's the color part of it. You know what I mean? Maybe
well, no,
it's
well, they're drawing. It's something. It's the way they're drawing it out. This not necessarily the color. The color
yeah,
is going to come out the way it comes out. It's
right,
just
right, right,
the way that the characters are drawn out. You could just tell. It's like okay, that's two different artists. You
right.
know.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Like this one, you can tell. It's just, but yeah, you know what I mean. Like maybe the first couple pages was the other, was the other artist, and then and then these pages here were Neil. You know what I mean? And then it probably goes, yeah, like the ones that don't look like Neil is probably the other artist.
Yeah.
All the pages, all the other pages that actually looks like this one is Neil for sure. We know that for sure because there's no way that the other artist would draw him would draw Neil. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's still fun to see like early, it's just like early.
Early Neil and early Steve Englehart.
Yeah.
Both to see early works of both of them.
And considering this was the issue that like his first artwork in comic books.
Yeah. But like you said, you can tell pretty much like which one. Yeah, which
modern day stuff you could tell. It's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
It's like they say it went from one artist to the next. It's like okay, it's like all right, you switch artists, or
So,
if it's if without looking at the name, it's like on issues. Like if it's like one issue, it's one artist, and then the second issue is a different artist. You can tell without even looking at the name.
all right, let's grade. I got a new one. Let's grade the whole kitten caboodle. The whole issue. What do we give the whole issue in general?
The whole issue, I'll give it. Overall an 8 because it was like a solid all-star.
Right, all-star lineup. Yeah, all-star lineup. You'll give it a cover wise. I'll give it like a 8. Like a I'll give it a 9 because this could have what I think happened. What I think is this could have inspired this cover and Frazetta stuff could have inspired the Star Wars stuff. You know what I mean? Because he could have read these things and and the idea stuck in his head or the art stuck in his head. So
yeah.
It
could be because considering that when the movie came out.
Yeah, this was 71. This is 71. So
71, and then so when Princess Leia was a slave in the movie, it wasn't until 1983. So considering it'll take a couple years for it to, movies take a couple years to go into production,
right?
With production and doing costuming and all that stuff, it takes 2 to 3 years. So it's like from 71 to let's say as early as 1980,
right?
Or 1981. So it's 10 years for them to figure things out when they did the Return of the Jedi with Slave Leia. So yeah, it's like people were doing their research.
Yeah. So I'm thinking like he used to read these things. He used to read like the creepies. He used to read all the horror because if you watch the interviews, he said he read a lot of the golden age type stuff, like the Crypt Keeper stuff, like like a lot of the horror, and he was probably still doing it at the time. You know what I mean? He was probably still picking this stuff up, or like you said, his assistants. You know what I mean? At the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that could be, that could be another one. So
yeah, because you figure that who the person who owned Star Wars before Disney took over was George Lucas.
Right.
So George Lucas, probably saw this, and
he probably read it or saw it on the newsstand, and it stuck with him. You know what I mean? And it stuck with him for a while. And then he saw Frazetta's art, and that stuck for him because there's scenes in the movie where he does the famous pose of the Frazetta Egyptian queen or whatever it was. The famous where he poses Leia like that. But what I'm thinking is the outfit and the idea of the chains and everything came from this, I think.
Yeah, quite possibly.
Yeah,
quite possibly. Yeah, because I could say this. There was a so let's kind of go back to when I lived in California, and there was a comic shop in Burbank, California. That was near a lot of movie studios and a lot of art studios. So I knew the owner of that shop, and he said that he would get a lot of people, a lot of artists that worked at all the different animation studios out of Disney and Warner Brothers and all that stuff, they'll sit there. I'll go buy comic books at a shop just for art reference.
Right.
Yeah. So if they're doing that, in more modern day times, I can only imagine there were people doing it back then,
Yeah.
in the 70s.
Right. But like you said, you know what I mean? Like you said, they probably, either Lucas either saw this, or either one of the people that helped Lucas out, like went to a shop and saw this, or went to the newsstand, saw this on a newsstand. It popped. It popped. They went, huh.
Yeah, considering the time period is the 70s, so you figure that there was more newsstands selling like comics versus comic shops, because
right.
you figure like Golden Age and Silver Age and into early Bronze Age,
right.
There's more newsstands selling comics than it was
So
comic shops.
I can, like you said, like you said, I can imagine, them walking up to the newsstand going, huh, yeah. You saw how bright the orange was on the cover.
Yeah.
So that could have caught somebody's attention and went, huh, that's a good idea. I just don't know what we're going to use it for, but
yeah, it's the reason why they do like bright background covers and stuff like that. Like catch people's eye.
If the bright orange didn't catch your attention, the creature behind her would have caught your attention.
Yeah, but that's why I do big bold lettering and all that stuff.
Something on this cover would have caught your attention, even if it wasn't bright orange.
Yeah, it's all the artwork, the coloring, and all that stuff. So the layout. It's very cool. It's a good layout. I like the layout.
So altogether, on your Vempy scale for the issue, we're giving it. Well, you gave it an 8, right?
Yeah.
So if I give it a 9, so we'll meet in the middle.
8.5.
Yeah, 8.5.
Yeah, so that'll be with our scores. The average will be 8.5.
8.5. Yeah. So 8. So the whole issue is an 8.5.
Yeah.
So and then what are we giving? What are we giving the first story? Artwork and then story after that.
Yeah, it's like overall, it's like throughout the whole book. I'm just pretty much giving everything an 8 on that one.
Yeah, because like you said, all big hitters. This whole book is big hitter.
Big hitter.
All heavy hitters. So 8.5 is a good one.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. This is one of my besides the Frazetta cover, this is one of my favorites. You know what I mean? Another favorite of mine. But I seem to like the female and creature covers a lot. I've noticed that. I seem to like those a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I seem to like them a lot. Because the other cover that I really like is I really enjoy is issue 70 of this run. And it's similar to this cover, but it's actually Vampy in the front, and there's a creature reaching his hand up. So I think I really like the creature covers.
Issue 70?
Issue 70 or issue 72, something like that.
I'll look it up.
Can't remember exactly on the top of my head right now.
Well, issue 70 is it's like a chick with a snake wrapped around her.
Oh no, that ain't it. That's the Ken Kelly cover. That ain't it. Hold on, I'll find it right now. I got the digital, I got the digital file anyways. I'll find it. But it's I mean, I seem to like the creature ones.
Yeah, and okay, it's 62.
Oh yeah. See,
that one. That one is like a. It's like a word like a creature with like a lot of tentacles.
No, not that one. There's one where it's like a very colorful background and she's on it, and then it looks like a creature with a bunch of hair reaches up, like almost like a like thing from the Addams Family almost.
Is that 63?
Hold on, I'll give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. 63. No, No.
How about 64?
Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. It ain't. It ain't. It's one of the. I know it's 70 something or 60. Is it 69? No. No. No.
No,
No.
69 is just it's actual model that
Yeah.
they were
Yeah. The
using.
photo cover. Yeah. Yeah.
Photo
Yeah. Hold on. I'll find out right now. I can't.
So look at 75. Tell me if it's that one.
Yes, it is 75. I knew I was in the right ballpark. I just don't remember exactly. Yeah, 75. Yeah, that's one of my favorite covers.
Okay, got it.
Another one of my favorites.
Got it. Yeah, it's a lot of good covers. Either way, it's a lot of good covers. Yeah,
Dude,
that
I
one.
wouldn't mind seeing 75 on a t-shirt. I wouldn't mind seeing this one on a t-shirt. I really want to see these covers on t-shirts, honestly. It's just I know Dynamite's never going to do them, so
Yeah. Well,
I should do them myself and just have them for myself.
yeah, exactly. Get a high resolution scan. You
Yeah.
know, of it, and then like have somebody kind of make sure to touch it up and then
Yeah, yeah.
print it
Yeah,
out.
then I'll have Sean touch it up for me. Sean touched them up.
Even the covers with the photo covers that they use that same model
Yeah.
for a lot of the photo covers at that period. It's like those look kind of cool too.
Yeah, Barbara Lay. Yeah.
Yeah, Barbara Lay. There you go. She was like you could tell she was a hot mama during that period. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I get why they used her a lot. Because it was just
No, and plus she was supposed to be Vampy for the movies.
oh, was she
You
okay?
Yeah, she was
I
supposed to
didn't know
be,
that.
but the Hammer Films, she was supposed to be the model for Hammer Films. That's why you got so many covers with her on it.
She did. Yeah, because there's like a good handful. It's like a good solid handful of if I know it's like over five or
Right.
six or more, probably more that I could think of off the top of my head.
Right.
So you look at her and goes like, she was like she could tell she was like the hot mama of the time.
Right. Yeah. She was she was the hot commodity at the time. So, you know how I told you 113 had reprints in it.
Yeah.
So this gets reprinted in 113.
113. Okay.
So when we get to 113 and we look through it, we're gonna see some reprints.
Yeah, I have two copies of 113. And I have both of them. I have them graded, so I can't even I can't even look through them.
Well, guess what? I mine's graded too, but guess what? We got digital files of these, so we're good.
Yeah, so I
So
got
and then
out of my Vampirella books, I have 5 of them graded. So I have 1, 2, and 3 graded in
I got more than you graded.
Yeah, you do. You do.
Yeah, I got the first 3 graded, the back couple graded. Yeah, the pretty much the major keys graded. Some of the major keys graded, the bigger keys graded.
Yeah, I just happen to have 2 copies of one of, which is funny. My 113, the 113s I have, they're they're just literally a 0.5 off from each other. One's a 7 and the other one's a 7.5. Which I thought that was funny. They came back with a 7 and 7.5 from CGC. Yeah, I thought that hilarious. It was hilarious, but 1 7 and 1 7.5.
Yeah, like I said, I got all pretty much the major keys graded. You know what I mean? So I got all the not really major keys, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you had the big one, issue 1. Yeah.
Yeah, issue 1, and then this is a big. You already know why I told you about this big issue. Why this is a big issue.
It's a Queen of Hearts.
Yeah, first blood red Queen of Hearts. Yep.
Oh, you got a 9.2 on that one. Fancy.
Yeah. So this is my fancy book.
It's a high grade.
Yeah, and this is the one I got off of eBay. I think
I think that,
I got
okay.
I got one off. I got one of those off of eBay. I just don't remember which. This one is my favorite story behind this one. I got it from Peter's shop.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
but
You
yeah,
had that one?
I got this from Peter's shop. You know how I got it from Peter's shop though?
Oh, did you
What?
trade it? Trade or
No, I
something?
didn't. I didn't trade it or nothing. Tim told me the story behind it. Some guy walked in with it. Some barber shop guy walked in with it. Like the actual barber walked in with it
Mm-hmm.
because somebody traded him this book and a couple other books for a haircut. For a haircut or whatever. So Tim calls me and goes, "Hey, do you have the annual?" I go, "No, why?" "Oh, I just got the annual at at comics and stuff. You might want to come up here, man." Blah, 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 blah. So yeah, so I come up
Yeah.
there.
Jeff,
Tim should
Jeff Simply Incredible says that he's good. He's starting a Vampirella movie.
starting a Vampirella movie.
Okay. No, but let's
Yeah, but
go.
you can't call it Vampirella though.
But
You
yeah,
can't call it Vampirella
so
though.
well, that's cool. That Tim called you and told you about the annual
Yeah.
over at the over
Yeah,
at
so
the.
that's how I got that one. But
the-
that's how I love. My biggest thing, I like collecting books that have a little story behind them.
yeah,
You know what I mean? I like when I get those type of stuff, like how I got the freaking the Swamp Thing, the first Swamp Thing. Like I'm only the second owner of that book.
Yeah.
That's cool. You know what I mean? It's just like and then we got so we give the whole book a 8.5. Covers, so I gave it a 9. So we meet in the middle, 8.5. So this is a great book. It's just if you guys haven't read it, I mean, you guys can read it if you guys want, if you guys really want to.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
But if you guys keep on watching these Vampy book clubs, you guys won't have to read it.
Exactly. We
well,
just talked about it a
well,
lot.
yeah, we'll just be talking about all 113 issues, and then after the 113 issues, I don't. We may do, we may do some of the Harris run. We may do some of the Dynamite run, depending on if Dell's up for it. We'll
Yeah,
keep it going.
I really don't have anything beyond that.
Yeah, hey, but it don't matter. We can just
Well, if you want to get technical, the only thing I really have of the Harris run is, well, actually, I take that back. I
the
guess
Adam Hughes.
yeah,
That's
well, I take it back because you saw the collection. I take that back. I
yeah,
have some of the early Harris stuff from the '90s because
right.
of the collection I bought, and
Yeah.
but I haven't really. I don't
No,
have
no,
anything.
yeah, but I'm messing. It depends on what these guys want to. It depends on what all these guys want to see. What a Simply wants to see, what Unruly wants to see, But we're gonna be going over all these issues. If Unruly, if Simply, if you guys want to join us, let me know. You guys can message me, let me know, and we can have you guys on, and then I can send you guys some stuff so you guys can read along, or you guys can read it and then see what your guys' point of view of it is. So it'd be fun. It'd be fun to have other individuals on here, just besides me and Dell. Well, because the main reason I got Dell involved, Dell bought a collection, so I'll go, hey, let's do this, and so I can teach you more about it. That's the whole idea. That was the whole idea. Really, well, that wasn't just the whole idea, but the whole idea was because one of John's comical friends does a X-Men thing, and I'm like, that'd be kind of cool if I do a Vampirella thing like he does his X-Men type, X-Men story time thing. So this is how that came to be, and the other thing was Dell bought a collection at the time. So I went, ooh, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, I was like, the things I do when I go on vacation, especially when I go on vacation, I'm not traveling. I was like, kind of like with you when you skipped out on that one convention. Was it Heroes?
Yeah, when I skipped out on Heroes, I went, huh. I'm like looking at that Swamp Thing. I go, that'd be kind of cool to have it.
You bought a comic book, and then like,
Yeah.
Then this collection fell in my lap. It was like
during vacation. Yeah, during your vacation.
During my vacation, I'm like, okay, I took all of December off. It's like, oh, I'm not gonna go anywhere this year. I'm just gonna stay home. And this all of a sudden, it's like I knew somebody that told me that their uncle passed away, but their aunt left all the books behind.
No, but it was funny because you take pictures and you go, "Hey."
Yeah, I'm messaging Jeff while he's at work. Hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? I was like, oh, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah. And I go, hey, if you offer this, it'd be cool. But so, well, it's not really big news next week. But if you don't know, next week we're gonna have a Frazetta cover, and Dell has a mystery box that he's gonna be unboxing for us.
Unboxing. Yeah. Since it's related to Frazetta.
And it's gonna be a mystery unboxing for next issue. Is issue 11, and it's one of my favorite Frazetta. Well, I have a lot of favorite Frazetta artwork, but it's one of my favorite ones because I have a T-shirt too. So it's one of my favorite artworks.
Yeah.
But so if you guys are gonna be here next week, we're gonna have another special guest next week. We're gonna have Tim back. So
okay,
yeah. So I have to go see Tim and let Tim know, but we're gonna have.
He haven't told me.
Yeah. Well, if he watches on the rewind, if he watches it during rewind, hey, you're on the show next week. But I'm gonna go see him tomorrow anyway. So, but yeah, so we're gonna have our LCS or We Love Comics back on again. Yeah. It'd be fun. So. Be sure to tune in, and it's another Frazetta cover, and Dell has a mystery box to unbox during that time. So we'll see you next week, and we appreciate you guys watching, and hope to see you guys again for Vampy Book Club episode 12.
12. 1.